on my Instagram last week. It's actually a really good tool to have those videos available to come back to. Sometimes we get introduced to new postures when we get a bit of a wall because we realise they're like not possible for us. But I think it's just a great thing to meet them, so that when we come back to them later on, we've already got an idea of those alignments. But anyway, this week is going to be much more relaxing, much more. And my theme for the week is actually the sea, the ocean. I spent quite a lot of time by the ocean this week. I think we all have our places that really feed the soul, and for me, that is the place to go. So for those of you that haven't come to the yoga sessions before, my name is Jen. I teach Hatha yoga as well as Vinyasa yoga, so I tend to blend my styles. So this week, as I said, a bit more relaxing. We are focusing on this theme of the ocean, of the sea. And it kind of comes back to an analogy that I learned a few years ago. It's called the ocean and the wave. So I won't go into it today. Welcome everyone. So the ocean and the wave, it essentially says that we are all part of one big ocean of consciousness. It's easy for us to feel separated from it, but however, we are essentially all from the same. So for today's class, the only things you're going to need is yourself, a mat if you have one, or just something comfortable to practice on. Today I've brought with me a little rolled up towel, so if you've got something like that or a blanket, it might come in useful later on. We're just going to be keeping it soft today. So just gather any equipment that you need. Once you're back with me, bring yourself up into a nice, comfortable seat. So the position that I'm sitting in here is called Siddhasana. So I've got one foot just tucked in to into my hips, and then I've got my other foot just lying down comfortably in front of it. So that's called Siddhasana, very comfy posture, but it sometimes takes a little while for the hips to kind of open up and allow you to sit comfortably like this. So what you can do is sit yourself up on maybe a yoga brick or a cushion or a blanket, just to ever so slightly raise your hips up, and that will allow your back to remain straight and help you open through the hips. If this isn't comfortable at all, just sit easy cross-legged posture, no worries. You need to use a chair, again, whatever is best for your body today. So long as you're all back, bring yourself up into your seat, nice and tall through the spine. Open out across the heart, and send your shoulders down away from your ears. Place your hands on your knees and join the tip of your thumb and your forefinger together in Chin Mudra. Close your eyes if you haven't already. Now slowly and consciously bring your hands together at your heart center in Anjali Mudra, into prayer. Really push together through the palms, spread wide through your fingers, and plug your thumbs into your sternum. So let's start the practice by just taking a deep bow to ourselves. We've come to the mat, we've come to the session, and that is half of the work. Take a deep bow. Also bow to everybody else that has joined the session, wherever they are. Creating some group energy. And finally, bow to the practice, to yoga itself. And thank you all for joining me today. Namaste. So continuing with our ocean theme, we're going to start off with our pranayama, and today that is going to be our Ujjayi breathing. So it's simple yogic breath. For those of you that haven't met it before, Ujjayi breathing is also known as ocean breath because it sounds like the sea and the waves lapping against the shore, very gentle. It's also known as the breath of victory. So in order to find your Ujjayi breathing, forgive me if you already know, but take a deep breath through your nose, or anyway, just fill up the lungs. And release that breath with an R breath. So that purring sound that is made with the throat, what we're going to do is keep that constriction, the constriction that creates the sound, and breathe slowly through the nose. So just have a go at breathing in and out with that light constriction in the back of your throat. Have a go now. Breathing out. Breathing in, try and keep the breath nice and long, fine and deep. Breathing out. So you might notice that sound that the breath is making does sound a bit like you have a shell to your ear, that ocean sound. So we're going to go into just a couple minutes of Ujjayi breathing. Just come back into your body, close your eyes, and let's start by taking some Ujjayi breaths, breathing in. And out. Trying to keep the in and out breaths even. Inhaling. Exhaling. Continue this way. Keep the constriction in the back of your throat. Keep the breaths nice and even. And just notice the calming effect that it has on the body and on the mind. So it's very normal when you start using Ujjayi breathing for the breathing to sort of appear to catch in the throat. It might not be that smooth initially. Stay with it, keep working with it, and it will soften out and it will come over time. So what we're going to do now is, still using the Ujjayi breath, is introduce some breath retention and breath holds. So what we'll be doing is breathing in slowly, deeply, holding at the top. And I'll count you through that, and then exhaling and holding at the bottom of the breath as well. So wherever you are in your breath, just relax your body. And let's all together take an inhale now. Hold at the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. Hold the breath out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhaling. Holding at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhaling. Hold the breath out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhaling. Hold the breath in. Exhale. Hold the breath out. And inhale. Carry on like this just for a minute longer. Counting yourself evenly through the inhales, the breath holds, and the exhales. So the breathing we're doing here, as well as Ujjayi breath, is also known as box breathing. It's very popular for sufferers of anxiety. It's also widely used within the Army and within the Navy. Very beneficial for soothing and calming the mind and the nerves and any anxiety and stress you might be holding. On your next exhale, just relax your breathing. And just for a moment, notice how you're feeling in your body. Come inside. And think for a moment of any ways in which you're kinder to yourself. So in the same way that as each of us, as the little waves that we are as a part of this vast ocean of consciousness, we are quite quick to separate ourselves, quite fast to feel cut off and alone, as though we are very separate from the ocean. It is easy to forget to reach out and to forget to ask for help and to remember to lean on each other. And we can be quite quick to judge ourselves. So just think for a moment ways in which you could be kinder to yourself. Okay, thank you everybody, and well done for your pranayama today. Let's all connect back up to the Ujjayi breath now, so we'll stay with it throughout the whole class today. Do your best to sort of keep tabs on your own breathing. But the beauty of Ujjayi breathing is the sound that it makes and the focus that it requires really kind of helps you to stay in tune with it. So let's take a deep breath in and out. Now what we're going to do as we breathe in is inhale, raise the arms above the head, interlace the fingers, push away and arch through the spine. And as we exhale, round through the spine, push the hands forward, looking down towards the navel. Inhale, reaching up and arching back. Exhaling to round and lift to the navel, to the belly button. Inhaling back and up. Exhaling forward and rounding. Inhaling up. Exhaling to round. Inhaling up one more time. Exhaling, dropping hands to your knees. Inhaling, arms come out and up, join your palms together. Look to the thumbs. And as you exhale, lean over to your right, place your right hand on the floor and create the side opening through the left side of the body. Inhale to come back up and over, switching sides. Exhaling over to the left. Inhaling up to center. Slow movements. Exhaling over to the right. Inhaling center, really syncing up with the breathing, the breath and movement. Exhale to the left. Inhale center. Exhale right. Last time, inhaling center. Exhaling over to the left. Inhaling back to center, look to the thumbs. And as you breathe out, now twisting over to the right, so into easy twist, place your left hand on the outside edge of your right knee, right hand comes down to the floor behind you and look over your right shoulder. Inhale in here. Exhaling into the twist. One more inhale, exhale here. Use the inhale now to come back up to center. Look to your thumbs. Exhaling to twist over to the other side. So right hand, left knee, left fingertips down behind, looking over the left shoulder. Breathe here. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale to come out, reaching up with both hands. Exhale, relaxing the hands back down to the knees. And just take a cleansing breath. Softening through the body as you breathe out. Bring yourself now to all fours. Place your hands just ahead of your shoulders and your knees to be just directly beneath your hips. Spread wide through your fingers and ground down through the outer edges of the palm. Make your handprint as big as you can get. Feel like there is a lift through the center of the palm of your hand. This is called Hasta the hand lock. So whenever we are in all fours or in downward dog, just remember to come back to this Hasta this hand lock. And actually you'll find that it will make a lot of postures stronger and easier for you to protect your wrists. So from our all fours position, we'll find our breath, inhaling and exhaling. Now as we inhale, drop the belly, arch the spine, lift the heart and look up into cow. Exhale, round through the spine, tuck the tailbone under, looking in towards the navel center. Inhaling cow pose. Exhaling to cat pose. Inhaling, starting the movement at the hips, into cow, arching the spine, heart shoulders forward. Exhaling, rippling back into cat pose. One more time into the arched spine. Exhaling to round. Inhale to come back to neutral spine. Bring the big toes together. Slightly widen the knees and sink back into child's pose for a whole round of breath. Keep breathe in, stretching forward with the hands, lifting through the heart. Exhale, now down to the floor. Look between the hands and slither through and up into cobra pose. Remember, nice strong hands. Roll the shoulders back and down. Tuck the toes and glide back into downward facing dog. So find your Hasta. Feet hip width apart. Slight bend through the knees. Mounting between the shoulders. Neck hangs long. Inhale, drop the knees into all fours, arching through the spine, heart shines up. Big toes together, sink back into child's pose. Look between the hands, slither through and up into cobra. Shoulders back and down. Tuck the toes back into downward facing dog. Inhale into all fours, into cow pose, dropping the belly. Exhale back into child's pose. Looking forward, slither into cobra. Nice, slow, fluid movements. Tuck the toes back into downward facing dog. So this sequence of movements is called the Shakti Kriya. Inhaling all fours into cow pose. Toes together back into child's pose. Through into cobra. And back into downward facing dog. It's a great place to marry up the breath and movement. Inhaling all fours, cow pose. And back into child's pose. Through to cobra. Bring some fluidity into your movements. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale into all fours, into cow pose. Exhaling back into child's pose. Through and up into cobra, and also really strengthening our upper body. Back into downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Melting through the exhale, shoulders back and away from the ears. And now what we're going to do is just walk the hands back to the feet and slowly roll up to standing, one vertebrae at a time, rippling up to standing. From here, bring your feet as wide as your mat. What we're going to do is an empty pose seat. So just start by letting your hands become heavy and twisting loosely. And this is called empty pose sleeves, just because it's the sort of thing you do when you're younger and you might have some big oversized jumper on, and this kind of motion is just quite fun. Just loosening up the body. Hips and shoulders just in opposite directions, keeping it effortless and easy. Alright, and relax the body, so your feet back together. Now from here, turn and face me. Breathing in. Exhale, drop a bend through the knees and cross your wrists in front of your body. We're creating a springboard. As we inhale, we're going to step wide. Bring the arms up parallel to the floor. Feet are parallel. And from here, we're going to turn our left foot in 45 degrees. Right foot all the way to the front of the mat. Gaze over your right middle finger, shoulders down away from your ears. And sink down into warrior two lunge. So we're going to create a right angle with the front leg. Ensure that your knee is not tracking in or out over your foot. So if you just glance down now at your right big toe, you should be able to see at least your right big toe and even your second toe on the inside of your right knee. Back leg stays strong. Make sure you are rooting down through the outer edge of your left foot. And ensure that you're not drooping that back arm as well. So keeping fully engaged, shoulders down away from the ears. Torso is upright, you're not tilting. Breathing here. Exhaling. And again, breathing in. And out. As you breathe in now, square your feet. Sweep both of your arms up to center, look into your hands. As you breathe out now, turn your right foot into 45 degrees, the left foot all the way forwards. Bring your arms down parallel to the floor and sink into Warrior Two on the other side of the body. So we're gazing over the left middle finger now. Again, the shoulders are down, both arms are lifted, torso is upright. Check that knee isn't tracking in or out. Engaging through the pelvic floor, fully engaged in the body. Breathing into your Warrior Two pose. Check that back arm. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale to square the feet, sweep your arms up to center. And as you exhale, circle both of your hands down to your lower spine and bring a bend into your knees. From here, inhale, straightening up. And with that supported lower back, find a light back bend at the top of the inhale. As you exhale, you're going to pivot forward now and bring the crown of the head down towards the floor. Into folding triangle. As you breathe in now, we're going to bring a bend into the knees, hinge at the hips, and come up halfway with the spine. Exhale, fold down, and at the end of the breath, straighten through the legs. Inhale, we come back into the bent knees, hinged hips. Heart lifts. Exhaling to fold down, straightening through the legs. This is called Prasarita Padottanasana. And you have your hands on the floor just as I have them here. Or you can bind your big toes with your index and middle finger and use that bind to work through the movements. You can also hold onto the outer edges of your feet. You might want to slide your hands through the space behind your feet and walk them through. Stay with the breath and the movement. And finally, what we can do is we can interlace the fingers behind the back. So we lift up, shine the heart forward. Exhale, straightening through the legs and bringing out the space between the shoulder blades to get even more out of the posture. Let's take one more breath here. So any variation is fine. Exhaling to fold forwards and down. No worries if the top of your head is nowhere near the floor. We're sweeping back up to center now. With the exhale, stepping the feet back together at the front of the mat. Exhaling together, slowly bringing the arms down. And take a breath here. Inhaling. And exhaling. Letting go of any tension. We're coming now into tree pose. So we did our balances last week. And tree was probably one of the easier ones, not going to lie. So let's root down now through our left foot. Make sure we're evenly balanced across the sole of the foot. And pick up the right foot and place it as high up your inner left thigh as it will comfortably sit. Try to avoid the knee area so that we're not placing any unnecessary pressure on that knee joint. If you need to keep your toes all the way down on the floor, absolutely fine. Whatever works best for you and your body today. Just bring it up as high as you can. What you need to do is find a point ahead of you that isn't moving to fix your gaze. And once you feel really steady and you've got your focal point, bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra at the heart center. Now let's all take a deep inhale here. And exhaling. Inhaling all together. Exhaling. Stay here if it's enough. If you want to play with the posture, inhale, raise the palms. Spread through the branches of your tree, fingers wide. And you can even play with letting those branches sway in the breeze. So we can just kind of have fun with our yoga. That's basically all we're doing. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale, bring the palms together back to the heart if you raise them. With the inhale, drop the foot to the ground, sweep both the arms up above the head, join the palms and look to your thumbs. Exhaling to soften back down, relaxing the arms to the sides. Bring the weight now into your right foot. And pick your left foot up and sit it as high up the right leg as you can get it. Again, to avoid the knee area, any extra support you need, then take it. The beauty of practicing at home is you have supports around you, there's furniture. So use what you need. Find your focus point. It's actually called a drishti in yoga. So find something to focus on that's not moving. Even better if it's something in nature. And once you've got it, bring your palms together at the heart in Anjali Mudra. Take a breath in all together. And breathe out. And again, Ujjayi breath in. Breathing out. Stay here if it's enough. Otherwise, you can play with raising the palms. Spread branches of the tree. Big breath in, stretching tall through these branches if you've got them raised. Exhale, bring the palms back together, lower them to the heart. Ready to release as we breathe in, dropping the foot. Raising both the arms, join the palms, looking up. Exhaling to relax back to Tadasana, back to our mountain pose. Inhale, turn to the top of the mat. Exhale, softening through the body. You're going to travel down to the floor via a sun salutation. So inhale, raising the arms up to flying mountain, join the palms together. Look to the thumbs nice and tall. Exhale, swan dive down into standing forward bend. Bend through your knees as much as you need to get there and let the neck hang long. Inhale, come up halfway lift. And we're going to step back into downward facing dog. As you breathe in, float forward, gliding into a high plank position or a push-up position. Drop your knees, chest and chin down to the mat in Ashtanga or 8-point pose. Untuck the toes, push into your palms, nice big hands, roll up into cobra. Tuck your toes, send the hips back up into downward facing dog. Gazing between the feet. From here, we're going to come into something called plane pose. And all we're going to do is let the feet fall over to the right, as if we were coming to a side plank, but we're keeping the feet where they were. We just roll the sides over and extend up through your left fingertips. Exhale, just allow yourself to kind of soften through the body. Inhale, look up to the fingers, shining the heart to the sky. You can always bring this knee down for extra support as we build the strength. Exhaling. Inhaling, stretching tall. And as you breathe out now, we're just going to circle that top hand back over, roll back onto the toes and into downward facing dog. We're going to rock over to the other side now into plank pose again. So let the feet fall over to the left this time, grounding down through the left hand and extending up through the right, gazing to the right fingertips. Again, if you need to drop that knee to the floor, absolutely fine. Soften through the exhales. Expand fully through the inhales. Take a final big breath in. As you breathe out, circle that top arm over, pivoting on the toes, back into downward facing dog. You're coming into pigeon pose now, so with the breath in, bring your right knee forward to your right far thumb and put your ankle across the body so it's under your left hip. From here, we're going to sink down into the floor, into the hip. You find where it's comfortable for you today. If this position is uncomfortable with your knee, you can come into a basic kneel instead. To ground down into the hips. Use an in-breath now to open up across the heart. Find a bit of back bend, extend up and out. And then we're going to fold forwards and down. Bringing the forehead all the way down to the mat if it will come. And resting here. So you can extend your arms fully out in front of you if that feels good. You can keep your hands exactly where they were. Or fold your arms just ahead of your head. Use the breath in to the back toes. And as you breathe out, you can rock into your pelvis and really open through the hips. Keep making micro adjustments, whatever feels good, without forcing anything in the body. Keep rocking into the hips and opening, finding that depth, that give. And keep extending through the inhales. Exhaling. Take one more breath in here. As you exhale, slide your hands back if you've got them extended, just back to where they were. We're raising up with the in-breath into King Pigeon. So rolling up, heart shines to the sky, gaze lifts. Exhale, just soften forwards and down slightly. Inhale to lift up and out. Softening forwards and down. Now with this inhale, we're going to slide the knee across the body, rotating so that we're on our sit bones on the left leg, and our right foot, our right soles come into the inner left thigh. Just fold forwards and down, aligning the left side of the chest with the left leg into half forward bend. You can bend this knee as much as you need to. You can even support it with a towel or a cushion if that feels good. It can also help to lift the tailbone slightly here off the floor, so if you want to put a cushion or a blanket or a towel just under your bottom, it can help here. Just enables that tilt through the pelvis. So keep breathing into your half forward bend. Folding forwards and down through the exhales. Keep extending forwards rather than kind of rounding through the spine. Take a last exhale. Now as you breathe in, kind of sweep your right fingertips round low on the floor and place your right hand down just behind your sit bone. Lift up and out onto that right knee and sweep the left arm up and over the head, gazing to the fingertips in a light back bend. Exhale, soften, just slightly lower down. As you breathe in, we're going to come back into that back bend, so pushing into the right palm, extending the left fingertips overhead. Exhaling to soften, let's do that one more time. Inhaling, arching into that back bend. But as you exhale now, pivoting and swiveling back into the seated forward fold. Just for a moment. Now sweep both of the hands back round to the head of the mat. Place them where they would be for downward facing dog. And then continue to twist back into downward facing dog. Melting between the shoulders and taking a breath just to paddle that series of movements out of the legs. The next breath in, we are bringing the left knee forward to the left thumb and hooking the ankle across the body. Again, if you need to come into a simple bent knee here, that's absolutely fine. As you exhale, sink down into the hips. Really nestle down. Find your ease. Inhale, lift out of the pelvis, lengthening up through the spine, opening across the heart, and fold forwards and down. Bring the forehead to the mat if it will reach. If it doesn't, it's absolutely fine to stay here, just floating off the floor. Inhale, find your hand position so you can extend if it feels good. Exhale, rocking into the pelvis, softening down, unleashing any tension that's held there. Keep making micro adjustments through the body, so you can play with shuffling the left knee close to the right ankle. No judgment on how your body is feeling today. Let's take a final breath into our pigeon pose, extending back through the right toes, forward through the fingers. Sliding the hands back to their original position as you breathe out. Inhale to lift up. Back into king pigeon. Find that light back bend, gazing up. Exhaling to soften forwards and down. Inhaling up. You can start to slide the hands back. Exhaling, softening down. Now with this next inhale, we're sliding the knee across to the right thumb, rolling onto the sit bones and bringing the left sole into the right thigh. Folding forwards and down, aligning the right side of the chest with your right leg into a half forward fold. Again, you can bend this knee as much as you need to initially. Keep breathing into the pose, extending up through the in-breaths, so that as you breathe out, you can come further forwards and down, rather than creating this round, coming forwards over the knee. Take one more breath in and out here. Staying with your dry breathing. Now as we inhale, let's sweep our left fingertips round, nice and low to the ground. Place the palm on the floor behind the sit bones. Lift up and out, coming onto your knee, and sweeping the right hand over your head, gazing to the fingertips in the back bend. Exhale, soften down. Inhale to push into the palm as we open and arch the spine. Softening down. Now final big breath in. Exhaling to come back on to the sit bones into the fold just for one exhale. Inhale to sweep both hands back to the head of the mat for downward facing dog. Pivoting on the toes and stepping back into down dog. Melting between the shoulders. And taking a breath just to paddle that out of the legs. Walk it out. Now come forward into a high plank as you breathe in. Exhale, knees, chest and chin come down to the mat, and we're coming into cobra for a few breaths. So inhaling to untuck the toes, push into the palms, strong arms, big hands, roll the shoulders back and down and gaze up. As you exhale, soften through the body in any way that feels good. So you can kind of look back over your shoulders, sway the hips, anything that helps you open up that lower spine. Inhale pushes into the palms and engages back up into cobra. So those shoulders are coming down away from the ears and shrugging, lifting out of the collarbones. Exhale to soften. And once you feel like you've really loosened up the lower back, you can kind of bring in this neck movement. So as you breathe in, we're lifting the gaze. And as you breathe out, we're just lowering the gaze. Inhaling, bringing the energy all the way up from the toes, through the spine, up from the heart, top of the head. And softening. Inhaling to open across the heart. Strong arms. You can always, instead of cobra, come into sphinx on the elbows. So you can get quite a lot. This is perfect. You can also use seal pose, where you bring the hands out slightly further ahead and push up there. So you can always adjust to get the right back bend for you today. So even if you're used to doing cobra, you might just not be feeling that today. Just take one final big breath into the cobra now. Shining up through the heart, fully engaged through the legs, shooting back through the toes. As you breathe out for counter pose, you're rounding the spine, looking towards the navel in cat tilt. Inhale to arch and come into cow pose. Big toes come together, knees come apart and sink back into child's pose for breath. Inhaling to extend through those fingertips and lift the heart. Fully extending through the spine so that we can mount down into the mat. Breathe out. And let's make our way now into a seat. We're going to come into double pigeon pose. So we have one leg folded in front of us, and we're going to stack our other calf, our other lower leg on top into double pigeon. So you might find this is where we need to bring in some props. If this knee is really floating up, it's a great time to bring something like a soft blanket or a cushion just under that leg to help you relax down. If it's really floating up and you feel like you can't even balance in your seat, then what we can do is bring that leg down and slightly forwards. So it's kind of like Siddhasana where we were at the start, but just slightly forwards, allowing a bit more space, a bit more balance through the pelvis. So find where you're comfortable. Take a breath in and just kind of lift up out of the seat, lengthen through the spine. And as you breathe out, now we're going to fall forward and down. So just kind of walk yourself down. And turn your palms up to the sky. So forearms are facing up. And just kind of relax here into our double pigeon pose. It is a forward fold. You can walk the hands further forwards, as much as is comfortable and as much as feeling good in your body today. So for some people, some bodies, this will be enough, just sitting here with the legs stacked. Maybe be kind to yourself. Don't judge your body, don't judge yourself. Stay connected with the Ujjayi breathing. What you'll find is if you push your body too hard, the breathing will catch and it will. You just back out and reduce the intensity if that is happening. And lift back up to seated. And from here, just bring yourself down onto your back into corpse pose. So we're going to just do a couple of postures here on the back, wing supine, before continuing into our Shavasana. So bending through both the knees, you're going to cross the right leg over the left and shift the hips just over to the right side of the mat. Place your left hand on the outside edge of the right knee there and the knees to fall over. Extend your right arm out to the side, palm facing up, and gaze to your right fingertips, in a supine spinal twist. And what we want to do here is keep both of the shoulders flat on the floor. If this knee isn't reaching the floor, don't worry, if it's floating, absolutely fine. What this hand is doing is just gradually helping it to drop and deepening that twist. So we'll find a couple of breaths here. Use an inhale to come back to center and swap sides. So just push your left leg over the right, place your right hand on the outside edge of the knee and shift your hips over to the left. Left arm comes out to the side, dropping the knees down, keeping the shoulders parted on the floor and gazing to the left fingertips. Breathing here. One more round of breath in and out. Now bring your knees back to center and inhale. Exhale, hug them into your chest and bring your forehead up to knees. Inhale to lower down. And exhaling to curl back in. Inhaling to lengthen out through the legs. So coming into corpse pose now. Make any other movements in your body that you need to make. before relaxing fully into Shavasana. So once you're done, lie yourself down completely and let your feet hang out to the sides. Allow your arms to fall away from the side of your body with your palms facing upwards. Close your eyes if you haven't already. I should have said it just now, but if you have anything, any extra clothing that would make you feel comfortable, then just grab those too. Closing the eyes, softening through the body. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out with your lips pursed, tiny little hole. Let the air escape. Don't force it, just let it run out like a valve. You'll find the exhales are nice and long this way, and you really allow the body to relax and let go. Do it again, breathing in deeply and exhaling through pursed lips. Do it one last time. And as you finish the exhale, just fall off the edge of the breath. Relax your breathing, relax the body, and let go of all control. Any sensations, just observe them and let them be. Try not to deepen or control the breath in any way. And just send your awareness, your feeling awareness, into your whole body. You relax everything, every muscle. You can stay here for as long as it feels good to do today. You're ready to come out and just roll onto your right side into a little ball and slowly help yourself back up to a seated position. If you're staying in Shavasana, then enjoy. Try not to fall asleep. Otherwise, in your seat, sprint some length up into your spine, open across the chest, shoulders down. Close your eyes. And let's all make a point of breathing together. There's a real fear of sharing airspace at the moment with everything that's happening in the world. So let's now all enjoy your breath together, inhaling. And exhaling. Exhaling your body back out into life. Do it again with a real sense of sharing. This pool of energy and exhaling. With the inhale now, we're raising both the arms up, joining the palms together in Anjali. Exhaling to bring them down to heart center. Closing the eyes, bowing the head. Taking a deep bow to yourself for taking this time out for all this hard work. Spending this time on self-care. Bow to everybody else for bringing the group energy together. And bow finally to the practice. Thank you all so much for joining today. I wish you a wonderful coming week. Namaste. Thanks, everyone.